much for joining the Christian View, and today we're talking about drama queens. But you know, we know craving all that attention, but you know, also there are people out there, you know, they lack attention. There's just such a lack of attention, Cameron, and this can be a very serious thing in a marriage, can it?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, you know, it's one of the top growing things that, you know, especially women are talking about, that they feel neglected by their husbands, that they feel that they are alone, that they're not appreciated, that their husbands are indifferent, and so it's becoming a leading cause of divorce. And in this country, if you take a look at it, the first marriage, you know, there's a 45 to 50% chance of divorce. The second marriage is 60 to 67%, and the third 70 to 73. And then you add on top of it all the neglect and all the lack of communication that's happening now, the internet and everything else.
That's why they're just moving in together, Cameron.
Yes. Yeah. They're moving in and thinking that's going to be an answer, but the reality is not.
But that's because they have to take time to get their house in order first, and that's what I recommend in my books. Take a fast from society and just spend time with God to get your personal house in order. You've got to heal those wounds from childhood. You can't keep carrying that baggage into the next and the next relationship.
And I like how you put it as far as a fast, because, you know, how we normally think of a fast is, you know, abstaining from food, those kind of things. But right now, we need to take a fast from outside stimuli.
Yes.
Things that are coming out from outside of us, the gates, if you would, and that cause our marriages just to fall by the wayside.
Social media has not helped marriages at all.
No, it hasn't.
And there was a recent show in Las Vegas, a consumer show on, you know, recent, most up-to-date gadgets, and there was nothing there in all of the show, nothing there for couples to help them engage, to help them have eye contact. And one of the things that an article I read said, rather than reaching for your cell phone first thing in the morning, which many of us do, I know I do, everything I need is on my cell phone, reach for your spouse. Isn't that amazing?
You know,
that's great.
A quick good morning, a quick kiss, whatever, an embrace, whatever it takes to make sure that that connection is a real thing, because now spouses are actually texting each other while they're in the home.
You are right, they are.
We do that. We do that. We text our kids.
Water the garden.
That's right.
It's not going to grow.
And weeds are going to grow
Exactly
instead.
Right.
It creates opportunity for boredom, which leads for opportunity for other events. And
well, what it leads to with women is, okay, my husband shows me no attention.
Yeah.
He's no longer my friend.
But this guy over here, he really has started talking to me, and this guy over here is really showing me a lot of attention, you know, and she starts soaking in that attention that's coming outside the marriage from someone else.
You have to hear this quote I heard from Sheila Kimball on her blog. It said, when one partner was distracted and not paying attention, the front door of their heart opened, and it was led to temptation and the opportunity for Satan to slither in.
And
the back door.
And that brings it right to, you know, a valid point, because actually when we allow things like lack of attention or lack of intimacy to come in, it really just opens the door for sin. And once sin comes in, it really opens the door for pride. And once we find pride, then we get caught up in all this drama. And that's where a lot of it really just to the root of it, you know, that we really have to understand that as husband and wife, Christ commanded that husbands will love your wife as he loved the church, and he told us, you know, even in his loving relationship, he's a jealous God. So most times what we find that is happening, that is destroying the root and the crest of marriage, is that the intimacy hasn't been lost.
Right. Well, you know, you throw out communication, and you know, in the simple form of it, you're dealing with communion.
It starts with communication.
Okay, and so when there's a lot, you know, when God says to us, "My house shall be called a house of prayer," He's dealing with communion. Always talking, listening, being intimate with each other, and that's what's being missing. That's being taken away by the internet, by all these other things right now.
And the reason why it's so critical is because then trust is compromised.
Yes.
And then that courage to even try again, or that doubt comes in.
Listen, I tell you what, if Edward doesn't pay attention to me, I know how to get his attention. If he is watching right now, I know how to get it.
She's communicating right now, saying, "Hey, you know, you better pay attention."
And social media doesn't allow really a lot of opportunities for husbands and wives to kind of just have their space. You know, if we really think about it, social media has brought the world to all of us, like right within our laps. And there's a saying that says absence makes the heart grow fonder, but you know, too much will make it wander. But we know that when people are always in each other's face, if I'm always sending you pictures, if I'm texting you all the time, it's like I'm involved with you and I need space. So if I'm texting you all day while you're at work, then when I get home, I feel like I've already talked to you. Versus times before,
And the reality of the situation is that, you know, we text people because we really don't want to talk.
You are so right.
Okay?
Yes.
We don't have the time to talk. And so now if you find yourself
we don't have
texting your
time.
spouse,
We don't have time.
there's a problem.
Yes.
What does that say? I don't
Yeah,
know.
what does that say, right?
I got too much on my calendar.
You know, and what's being said is that there needs to be some kind of agreement policy between spouses. You know, we're going to go ahead and do this now, do this now. And so those kind of things are already on the table. We know when we're taking time apart and when we're coming together, and we have an agreement on it.
Good guideline for a household and for children. Boundaries around media and cell phones.
Everything's got to be in moderation. Everything has got to be in moderation.
And we have to keep those things that are primary, those things that are important, those things that are foundational. We have to keep
in
those
their place. That's right.
in place, because when we properly align, or well, I would like to say be a good steward over our relationships, then all of that will come into line. Because if you're talking to God, He's going to talk to you about you and about your spouse and what needs to be important to
We
you.
have to have better examples. You know, we've lost a lot of examples of what real marriages should look like.
Yes.
You know, nowadays, the average grandparent today is either divorced or single, and therefore, when kids get married, a lot of times they don't have an example of what to look to in a marriage, and they're products of divorce. So therefore, when they get married, a lot of times they don't know how to interact with their spouse.
That's why date nights are so important, and weekends, and you know, we don't do enough of it. I think
I'll tell you
it
one
just
thing
nurtures
Larry and
your
I
marriage.
started doing. For 23 years, every morning I get up to take the dogs for a walk, and I walk out by the pool, and I've always thought how wonderful it would be to have breakfast by the pool in the mornings. Well, after 23 years, it clicked, and I realized the only way that was going to happen is if I got up and cooked the breakfast and took it by the pool. So I'm telling you now, for 5 weeks, every morning, I take the linen tablecloth, I take the best china, silverware, crystal, and we have a beautiful breakfast every morning together.
Awesome.
Stay with us. We're coming right back. No!